Well, hello, everybody. It's 2025, and I'm finally back doing podcasts. There has been a lot going on, and that's what we're going to fill you in on today. And I want to welcome back my co host, Yvette, also known as IB Princess 56 on TikTok. Hello, Yvette.
Hello, Patsy. How are you? Happy New Year. Okay, it's been a
Yeah,
lot
Happy
of
New
going
Year.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost Easter.
Yeah, you're busy. I've been busy. So this is the first one in 2025 and more to come, hopefully. But I'm glad that I'm here with you again.
Yay. So, anyway, one of the reasons I have not been getting into the podcast thing, and it's not got nothing to do with health. It's an awesome event that I got to be a part of, and I talked about it some last year. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast. So everybody knows I live in St. Louis, Missouri, not Uranus, Missouri, like I pretend to
Mm-hmm.
be on my chats with boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, and it's in February, they have a working woman survival show, and it's been held the last I don't know how many years at the St. Charles Convention Center in St. Charles, which is about probably a 40-minute drive from my house. So anyway, I was lucky enough to get a booth, so that I could talk about and pass out information on what I do. The cool thing about because I've been planning this, I have stuff I printed out from Advocating for You, know my favorite place that I
Our
advertise
favorite
for.
place. Our favorite
You
place.
know,
I love Kathy,
I
you
talk
know?
about yeah, I talk about Kathy and them all the time. Um and so I printed out a bunch of stuff. I asked her permission, of course. I didn't think she'd care, but I just felt like I needed to ask her permission.
Of
And
course.
so I had all the yeah, so I got the booth, and then I went into panic mode and anxiety mode because it's like I've never been there. I don't know what to experience. I don't know what happened, but after Christmas, I just felt calm. But I mean, I was, because I went years ago before COVID as a visitor. And so it's like, God, I don't know. Anybody going to come talk to me? you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we had a small booth. It was February 14th, 15th, and 16th. That Thursday, my daughter and I went and set up the booth. I got the cheapest booth, the smallest one, and for what I had, it was perfect. Um, we got there and hauled all our stuff in, and God bless my daughter, she hung my banner, which looked beautiful, and we set up
I
the
saw
table.
it.
We had bags. Yes, I'll have to find more pictures. I found these little clear bags about 9 by maybe 10 by 13. I don't remember the size, but I had
Mhm.
all the stuff, the handouts from Advocating for You. I threw my calendar in there. I threw things in there about my book, which we could talk about. And
Yep.
I had a thing in there about the romance scammer playbook,
Mhm.
which I'm always advertising and where you can get a free copy. It's a PDF file. But we'll talk about that later too. Um, I can't remember. I think that was everything that was in the bag. But then on my table, to get people to participate, we made up a game. And the Google Girls, which Yvette is one of, um, we came up with like, yeah, we're the Google Girls. We came up with a game. So I bought one of those spinning wheels,
Oh,
and I put
nice.
pictures of
Mhm.
celebrities on there. Of course, Chris Evans had to be on there because that's my cougar crush.
And my
And Jason
husband was
Momoa,
there
your
too,
husband, is on
right?
there.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Jason, if
So, and
you
then
can
I printed
hear
out the
this
stuff and I had these little
podcast, if you can hear this podcast, Jason, you know that I love you. I just want to throw it there.
yeah, yeah, and Chris Evans. I mean, the
Mhm.
world knows how I feel about you. You are
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
anyway,
Mhm.
I could talk about him all day. I'm getting hot now. So anyway, so I had everybody laminated pictures on the table, and it's like placing a bet. Put your coin, I spin the wheel, and if
Mhm.
your guy comes up, then you got like a koozie. And I had a whole ton I made over 200 and something koozies.
Oh wow.
So that was a big hit. It was so funny. Taylor Kinney's picture was popular, and Jason Momoa's picture was popular. and Thor. Nobody hardly picked Captain America. I don't know what's wrong with these people, but that's
They're
okay.
blind.
Yeah.
They're blind.
So yeah, so I had Jason Momoa, I had Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, um, Jason Bigg, who's from Chicago PD. His
Mm-hmm.
pictures get used a lot. I got to look up at it.
Yes.
Chris Evans, oh, Mark Hamill, and Chris
Hmm.
Pratt, and of course Keanu Reeves, because
Of course.
his fake profile runs rampant everywhere.
Oh my God.
So that was a good interact. Yeah, and that was a good interactive way. It got people, people came by and they saw the banner. Oh, what you do? Now, the cool thing that happened with this, I my interview with KSDK Channel 5 in St. Louis aired at 10 p.m. that Thursday on the news. And so people were coming in on Friday, I saw you on the news. That really helped, and when they
Definitely.
heard what I do and how I do it. And I did stream on TikTok live all 3 days while you didn't always see me because I was talking, but you could hear all the conversation going on.
Hmm.
And then my daughter and her friend Beth were helping, and when I would walk away, they would do things on live. I don't know what they did, so I didn't
Yep.
get banned, so I guess it was okay.
No, they did a great job.
So
Let
anyway,
me
so
tell
no,
you, they did a great job.
they did. I mean, when the doors first opened that Friday, I had the little rubber bracelets that says "Pink Lady Against Scammers." So my daughter's like, "Well, what do we do?" I said, "Well, we were right by the front door. There was a booth behind us, and then there was us. So people were like walking by. So they stood out there handing out bracelets. And my big banner and the pink hair gravitated people to my booth. And I mean, it was, oh, what do you do? And I mean, I must have told the same story 1,000 times that weekend. I did not do lives those Friday or Saturday or Sunday because I had to save my voice because when I talk way too much, and then Sandy, my right hand, you're not doing lives, you're taking care of yourself. She looks out for my health for me. So,
Yeah, she's a good
but no,
manager.
yeah, she is. She is. So I mean, the people that because Friday ran from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I mean, it was pretty busy all day long. I didn't get to walk around
Hmm.
that much.
Hmm.
And then I got home Friday night and I was pretty wiped. Saturday, well, as I'm at the Working Woman show on Friday, one of my friends texts me, "Hey, they're showing your interview again at 5 o'clock." I'm like, "Great." So then I come in on Saturday. Saturday was the long day. It was from 10 until 6.
Oh wow.
And they showed that interview again, and then people are coming in again, "Hey, I saw you on the news." And I mean, Saturday, Friday and Saturday were the big busy days. And then Sunday was a lot slower. I made a joke. I goes with the lady next to me. I said, "Is it like Crabby Lady Day or something today?" Because some people were coming by and they were, and I can understand that if you got to go to work the next day, you're just, but still, we
Hmm.
had some great people. On Saturday, I had several ladies come and ask, "How do you pay for all this?" And I said, "Well, I use my own money." As everybody
Hmm.
knows, I hate asking for money. Now, I did start a GoFundMe when I was going to do this, and I got $125, and that helped go towards stuff that I bought for the booth. So that Saturday, a lady goes, "You really need to take donations." And so, well, okay, I guess. So then ugh, where is it? I don't know where it is. So I made a little my pink lady tumbler and I made a sign with my Venmo QR code and I put that out on Sunday. This way it's optional if you want to make a donation. I don't do this for money. And I ended up collecting about $10, which was nice. It helps. It's not a big
Right.
deal, but I have that so when I do events again, I'll set it out. I won't be so shy
Actually,
about it.
I'm gonna give you a suggestion. On your live, you can put your Venmo on the top of you all the time. So people want to donate and don't give you because you get a big cut on TikTok for gifting. Okay. So just put your Venmo on the top of you every time. And the people that want to donate, they're watching you live, your faithful followers. they can donate to your Venmo. A lot of people are doing that, and it's really, really good for them. I have a friend that I will not mention the name, but every time she go to live on TikTok, she get a lot of donation because they hate what
Mhm.
TikTok is doing. They cut a big chunk of money of the gift, and you get like,
Yeah.
if you get, for example, 200, you only get like a $75 or something like that,
Yeah.
and it's not
Yeah.
right. I mean, 75 is
Yeah.
75 anywhere you go, but
Yeah.
people put the Venmo or Cash App or PayPal, and they will send you there.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's a
I will
suggestion.
do
I
that.
mean, and
Thank
it
you. Now I
works.
did. No, no, that's perfect. Because my one friend, Anonymous Andrew, actually, he changed the name of his podcast. He's going
Mhm.
to come back and be a guest. We'll talk about some of the guests we have coming up later. Um,
Okay.
he was the one. It's called Buy Me a Cup of Coffee, and it's not necessarily I'm going to buy coffee because everybody knows I'm a Diet Coke drinker. But
Yep.
it's a place where people can make donations. And I did have a lady last week make a donation, and I was just like, oh my god, it's
Yeah.
something I got to get used to, you know. So, but anyway, so that Sunday, like I said, that Sunday was a little slower.
Mhm.
What was funny was, okay, so that Sunday night we're home. I had already eaten. I'm sitting watching Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary, and I'm sitting here at my desk because I'm watching it on my iPad, and I'm sitting here, and it's like I don't have to do anything. After months of preparing, I made headbands, I made koozies, printing, making sure I had enough of my little calendars and all this stuff. And I just kind of sat there. And I'm not one that can just sit and not do nothing. But I did because, I watched the 3-hour show and I was just wow.
Yep.
So needless to say, the next day I knew I'm because next day was a holiday for me. It was President's
Mhm.
Day, thank God. So otherwise I'd
Mhm.
have to take the day off. But anyway, if you're watching this via video, this is the program, and it's going to be backwards probably. Their major guests were the three girls who played the Walton sisters on the Waltons. Now, I did not make it up to the main floor to pop in and see them. Um, but I mean, because there were booths up there, they have food tasting. This is
Mhm.
the seating chart. You can look at this on my website. I uploaded it in a couple months ago, and it shows all the different people that were there. I got to say that venue, their concession stand is delicious. It's good Diet Coke, but they have smash burgers that were incredible. That Sunday, I had a deep fried grilled cheese sandwich, which I've never had before. Incredible, incredible. The guys that were behind us makes this they have this incredible sauce, and Beth bought one the one day, and we were all snacking on it. So we had to go back and buy more, and I bought some. I don't remember his name, unfortunately, but I mean, if you wanna look at this whole program, it is on my website, and I am in here. It's alphabetical order, and I'm,
This is
right
the
about
thing that is
here.
coming soon for you.
Well, it will be next February again.
Okay.
I've been visiting their website, the Working Woman Survival Show. You can Google it. They don't have it listed for next. They're just saying thank you. I don't remember when they come out with it for next year, but
Mhm.
I'm signing up again, and I'm gonna tell them I want the same booth and give them my booth number because that's just a perfect spot. We weren't in the main thing, but we were right out there and people right by the door and people were coming in. And again, the
And
pink
that was
hair is what
perfect.
attracted and my
That
pink
was
tennis
perfect.
shoes.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then we all had the matching shirts and the pink long sleeve one. Um, I forgot what I
So
was gonna say. No, I know
I
the
have
one
few question
oh,
for
go ahead.
you. I have few question for you because probably a lot of people don't understand the woman survivor activities that go. It's not only that day, but it's go around to helping a lot of women in different aspects. DV, SA, scamming and everything. What was the main questions that this woman want to stop there asking you about what you're doing? Because it's important that they know that we are battling a major virus, and this is like a virus. This is not going to go away until women say stop. So what was the main question that they was asking you there?
Well, the first thing they would say was, "Oh my god, this is so needed. God bless you for doing this. Oh, I mean, it was I got goosebumps. I'm still flying high off of the overwhelming of being there.
Mhm.
I had many women share their stories with me, and as
Oh,
always, I
good.
invite them if you want to come on my podcast. We show video, but I don't have to show video when I release it.
Mhm.
Um, but a lot of them, it's like, how do you convince someone that they're in this and they don't want to listen to you? None of us, I don't think, have a grand answer. I said, look, take all these documents. There are some really good ones in there, if you have a loved one after a romance scam, there's one about that, and red flags, the red flags are the big thing. Of course, I'm telling them, go to Advocating for You website. I had QR codes. Once I figured out how to make a QR codes, I had QR codes everywhere. And
Mhm.
that was a big one. It's like, how do you convince them? And as I always say, even on my lives, unfortunately, if you can't convince them, it's like an alcoholic. They have to hit rock bottom.
Absolutely.
You know, um,
Absolutely.
I had a couple women hug me, which I'm a hugger. I got no problem with that, and it was the overwhelming of people coming by and loving what we do. And of course, I tell them, look, I do it with humor. I pretend to be Suzanne Sugarbaker, and
Mhm.
I go crazy. I really literally do, and this is funny. So Saturday, I'm coming in, had Rachel drop me off the door, so I don't have to walk as far, because I
Mhm.
made my daughter drive all weekend, but I filled her car up with gas. And so I'm coming in, and this one guy's like, "Oh my god, my wife and I saw you on the news." This was Saturday. He goes, "And we watched like your videos for 2 hours last night. We couldn't stop laughing." And I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh
wow.
my god." I said, "Look, come by my table. Yeah, come by my table. I'll together a bag of swag for you." So
Mhm.
anyway, I got over there, grabbed one of the bags through koozie and headband and whatever else I had there, bracelets, and then when I was walking through, then I gave it to him. Now he had this booth of these pillows that you put in the back of your chair and you lean against them and they vibrate. So he was with people. I said, "Look,
Anyone.
don't worry. I just want to give this." Yeah. Well, he ended up giving me one later for free. Yeah. So I gave him this bag. I said, "Here, here's the stuff. Um, you know, we'll talk again soon, And the next thing I know, he comes over in the afternoon. He goes, "Here, this is for you. I want to give this to you. I like what you do." And I put it in my chair and I'm like, ah, Now the funny thing was, now this is something I want to bring up. Some of these vendors, they are too aggressive. I'm not aggressive. Um,
Mhm.
it's my charming personality that guides everybody to me. It's the pink hair, and
It's the pink
so anyway,
hair.
so yeah, and so some of these people, even when I would walk through, there was this one booth on makeup. Now, I did wear makeup all 3 days. So, my daughter made me, and, I had to look good, but there's this one lady, stopped me on my way out, and she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, well, do this and that." I didn't have my vendor badge on because I had my coat on, it was cold, and I
Mhm.
just said, "Well, I'm a vendor and I'm leaving," and my daughter. So that Saturday, again, I walked past there when I'm leaving, which was a big mistake. And she's going through all this. She goes, "Okay," she goes, "I'm going to hold this mirror up to you and tell me what you see. You all know what I'm going to say." I said, "Damn, I'm gorgeous." She
Mhm.
busts out laughing. She goes, "Nobody has ever said that. Most people shy away, from that." I said, "I like to look at myself in the mirror. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I see where there could be improvements, but I'm like, I like how I look, and well, needless to say, the next day when I left, I walked every time I went to the food thing, I walked all the way around. But that was something. So my point getting to that was, so Rachel and Beth are walking through there, and the pillow man, I guess trying to get him to come over and try the pillows or whatever. Now, I had gotten the pillow before this happened. They were gone. They walked around a lot
Mhm.
looking at everything
Mhm.
and spent a lot of money. And
Mhm.
so he they went over, they said, "Oh, no, no, thank you," and I guess I'm not sure the whole thing. Alls I know is, well, your mom's a lot nicer than you are, because 'cause we're all wearing matching shirts, it's obvious, so they came back and I said, "Oh, look what this guy gave me," and they're like, "Give it back." And I'm like, "What's going?" Well, then they found out how wonderful the pillow was. I thought, "I'm not gonna give it back. You guys are the one that's got a beef with him, not me." But vendors are very aggressive, and I don't like
They
that. I
are.
think that's what shied
Mhm.
people away from booths, where I'm not gonna I just hi like at the flea when I do my flea markets, I'm like, "Hi." I'm not gonna say, "Look at my stuff and buy." I'm gonna be like, "Hi." I greet everybody. But yeah, it was, God, it was just the best thing, and I did make some contacts of, "Well, do you come out and, like, talk to older people, older senior citizens type?" And I said, "I would be happy to." They have my information. This one lady said their thing isn't until, like, September. But I did get, one lady gave me her inform well, she actually Rachel talked to her. The girls did a good job of
Mhm.
talking to people when I was talking to people. Um, it's a community council in St. Charles, and they do these vendor events. Tables are a lot cheaper.
Mhm.
They're only like 25 bucks. And she
Oh,
says,
not bad.
contact this person. To ask and have a table, and I said,
Mhm.
"Sure." And then she gave me her phone number, and she says, "If they don't get back to you, you call me. I'll take care of it. I'll admit myself." So I mean, that's what I wanna get into is being able to come out, speak to people, and,
It's very
give a
important.
short
Yeah.
presentation.
It's very
Yeah.
important to educate a lot of people. And let me ask a question. Was only women that was going to your table or men too?
They were with their wives.
Gotcha.
They were with their wives because I don't think men come there by themselves, but they'll come with their wives, and the men interacted. Although some of the booths, like I said, they had men in the booths, but people that came a lot of times they brought their husbands, and the husbands would sit or stand there and listen when I talked, and
Mm-hmm.
they were all everybody there was just so nice. Like I said, you had a few crabby people.
Hmm.
I had 2 people because we don't do politics in all my stuff, on my lives and
Yeah.
stuff, and I had 2 people make comments. They were not terrible comments, and I just, smiled like I always do, and
Hmm.
and just, it wasn't terrible stuff, it really
It
wasn't, but
was
it was
more like
like,
a.
"Yeah, this isn't the place," but again, they
Mm-hmm.
were not mean, they just made a casual comment,
Hmm.
and I brush it off, it's like, "That's not what we're here," but I didn't say that to them, but I
No,
just, smiled and said, "Here, have a wristband."
the reason why I'm asking you if men go to your table and ask you about the romance scam, because you know, as well as I know, the men are very private to come out and say, yes, I was a victim of a scam, And
Mhm.
I was just wondering if any approach you and ask you, hey, how I can detect this, even if they like for a friend of mine that he's involved with somebody and never met her or him or whatever, because that is a big taboo. Man cannot be scammed. And
Yeah.
I start doing a research because I've been researching when I'm working or I taking care of my mom. Is it's a lot of men, and this is only in the United States, that don't come out saying that they're victim of romance scam. And that concerned me. I don't know to you, but that concerned me because you're human. They don't care, you know. As long as the mighty old dollar come to their way, they don't care if they pretend to be a man or woman. And I
Mhm.
know that it's hard for a lot of men to admit it. Yeah, I'm a romance scam. That's why I'm asking you if they went men and ask you question to your table, because it's important that men don't feel that they're alone here. This happened to everybody. And men's
Yeah.
out there that you listen to podcast, you can come to us, and we don't gonna judge you. I know
Mhm.
that a lot of men feel lonely and they trying to look for romance online, or dating sites and everything. Nothing wrong with that, but you have to be careful, and that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
research. How can men come out and say, you know what, I was a victim? Last year we had one person, but this person was with the person face to face. They got a scam, you
Yeah,
know,
Jonathan,
Jonathan.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Check out that podcast. I'll warn you, that one's an hour and a half. Nothing could be cut from what he said, so
yeah, it was really good, that podcast. I mean, all the podcasts it's been really good because you learn something new every single day. It's a different ways they're doing sextortion. Once you send pictures, private pictures to the criminal, and they start manipulating you and asking you for money and going to show you picture everywhere. Even if you don't send a picture, they Photoshop things. Okay. And they can pick, and I telling people, if you're gonna Photoshop my face, make sure that it's a skinny, curvy, long
yes.
hair, no wrinkles, you know.
I say the same
So,
thing when they tell me I'm gonna blackmail you, it's,
hmm,
"Okay, well, can you send me the picture so I can approve it first?" You know?
yeah, yeah, you know.
I'm 62 years old, you just can't embarrass me, you really can't.
I'm 57, girl. Nothing
Yes.
surprised me or scared me or made me to, oh my God, they're going to show everybody my family, my big boobs and my big butt or whatever. But you know what? All my families know that I have a big ass, so who care? And it's not
Yeah,
surprising me.
yeah.
You have to give a comeback to these people that say that, oh, well, if you don't pay me $2,000, I'm going to show you pictures to all your family. I start laughing. I said, well, go ahead and do it because they already see me from the moment I born to right now naked. I don't care. It is no shame. I have a belly.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
yes,
So
yes, yes.
it's just every single day that we educate people, and I know the way you do it, Patsy, there is hilarious and these people trying to pretend to be Keanu Reed or Chris Evans or
Prince of
Jason
Dubai.
Momoa,
Prince
Prince
of
of
Dubai is my
Dubai.
favorite. Yeah.
Yeah, with the accent from Country 234, and it's tedious. I mean, get to the point that listen, I need a break. This is every single day that I'm doing this, but you learn something new every single day with these people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and
Well, after mentioning Jonathan, I gotta throw in here now, we're gonna change a little course here.
mhm,
Senate Bill 841, which is the Romance Scam Prevention Act. Now, before we had Jonathan on, we had Beth Hyland on, who's a younger than me and a vet, and she
mhm,
was scammed.
mhm,
I follow her on LinkedIn now. She was a guest on my podcast. She will be back in a couple months because she's got a book coming out. But the big
mhm.
thing is, Senator Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee, uh,
Nice.
brought forth this bill to go after online dating sites, to make it safer. And the bill is online. It's also on my website. It's 11 pages long. Again, these bills are like reading IKEA instructions to put stuff together. It's hard to understand, but I get the grasp. Yeah. So anyway, she actually drove I don't know how many hours to DC when they were having the public hearing to get it out of committee to put it to the floor for a
Oh,
vote.
that was with
Um,
Kathy and advocating for you
Kathy,
too, right? They went
yes,
together.
yes. So if you're on LinkedIn, follow Beth Hyland, Hyland.
She's great.
She documented the whole thing on there, and that's one guest we will be having in the future, because I had messaged her and said, uh, oh, okay, sorry. So I had messaged her and said, "Look, I got to have you back on the podcast." And she's like, "Oh, I would love to because she's done so much." And so she goes, "I've got a book coming about in about 2 or 3 months." I said, "Let's have you then. You can promote your book, and then tell us all your what's going on
Oh
because
my God, I
I
need
got to
to
tell
get
you,
the book.
yeah, she's become a hero of mine because she took something that happened to her and is going full throttle on educating people and advocating.
Hmm.
And follow her on listen to the podcast, of course, but then let's go follow her on LinkedIn. She
Yep.
just posts a very like almost every day. So she's a future guest that we will be having on. And then the one goof I made at the Working Woman Survival Show, I didn't order copies of my book, and I coulda sold them there. So here's my book, and that's my picture on the back. Um, I should have ordered I didn't order in time, and they wouldn't be here in time because I self-published on Amazon, and because I coulda sold them for a little cheaper than what they were available on Amazon, and I goofed. I totally goofed. I had to borrow my neighbor's copy to at least have a sample out there because I couldn't find my copy.
Hmm.
So, but that's the one goof I did because I think people might have been more apt to buy it, um,
I have
with
my
it there live.
copy,
People were selling stuff.
and I every time I put it in the table and people come to visit, what is this? I say it's gonna take you like a top 20 minutes, 25 minutes to read it. Go sit down, have a cigarette in the balcony and coffee and just read. And when they come back, it's like no more stories. Come on. I need more
That's what
stories.
I'm thinking maybe next year try to gather more stories, so I'd be happy to, so that's the one. But again, I learned so much. I know what to expect next year and I know what I want to do. So that's what I will be gearing up. I won't have the anxiety that I had this last year because this was something new. I didn't know what to expect. Fabulous. So if you're ever in St. Louis when this happens, go to it. I don't know if any other city does something like this, but this was the um 38th Working Woman Show. They used to hold it in the convention center downtown, and then I don't know how many years ago it moved out to St. Charles Convention Center, which is a nice facility.
And
So,
just promote the PDF, the white woman one. You have a copy. You can go to her
yes,
website and click and check that PDF. Is the entire book of how these people talk to the woman to convince them, you know.
yeah. It's
Before
called
the
How to
book,
Make a White
yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
it's called How to Make a White Woman Fall in Love with You from Online Chat. I
And it's
read
not
from
only
this to the
white women.
guys.
It's not
Yeah.
only
Oh,
white
yeah,
women.
it's anybody. My favorite is if the world was made out of chicken, you would be a hot wing. Um, it's interesting because I'll mention this book and I'll send them the copy of the cover. Where'd you get that? Wouldn't you like to know?
You
Or
remember
they'll
that
my favorite is oh, go ahead.
you remember that I sent you a PDF that was like a it was like
Oh, yeah,
a
I still have that.
yeah, that is the
It was
old
horrible. The
way
grammar, the spacing.
grammar and everything. This one is more so you understand and it's more
More
verified the
professional.
grammar and more professional. The one that I sent you was like a
Yeah.
cut and paste from people that was a scam and they put it there. And I'm telling you right now, it's sad and it's very, very alarming, that these
Yeah.
people trying to pretend to be somebody, especially military men, uh, like we have people that want to be, it's like a 300 3,000 Tyler Thomas, Jonathan Marsh, including my friend here in San Diego. He is a Master Sergeant Joe. Um, he have
And Gypsy. Gypsy gets his account duplicated a lot.
Gypsy.
I had gotten a
Gypsy,
friend request
Rena.
the other week, and I knew it wasn't him, and I messaged him, I go, "Is this your account?" He's like, "No, darling," and I said,
No,
"Okay." So I blocked him, you know.
yeah.
I didn't think it
Uh,
was.
I have one, and I start laughing. They, go to my DM on TikTok, and I'm like, "Oh, hi, I'm Master Sergeant Joe." They put the name that he used on TikTok, and I'm like, "Yeah, right. What you
Yeah,
mean?" And I'm like,
yeah.
first of all, I'm a close friend of Joe and his wife. Okay, his wife is Puerto Rican, and we are like this. We connect. We know each other. Joe, we've been talking with Joe for almost 3 years. He only have one account on TikTok. He right now have YouTube, and he recently reopened his Instagram. Okay, because he don't know if TikTok is gonna go away. You know, so he said, "Well, let me reopen Instagram." You know, and something that he don't like because Meta. But we all feel the same way. Um,
Yes. Yes.
but he have a YouTube, Master Sergeant Joe. Stanked. It's a very weird last name. But I know them. Don't try to and if you're gonna come to my TikTok, go first on the page and see what I do, you know? Because if you come, "Oh, can I ask you a question?" This sugar daddy that I hate them. You know what I mean? "Oh, can I ask you a question? Would
Yeah.
you like to be my sugar baby? I spoil you." I say, "Listen, I'm diabetic and you don't have enough money to spoil me, you know?" So
Mhm.
it's a way that you can talk with them when they come to your DM without invitation or approaching. And they're doing that a lot because what you have in your profile is like, here's the key of my house, come in and go ahead, scamming me. You know, if you put that you're
Mhm.
single, widow, divorced, how many kids, all that kind of stuff, is open the door for them to come to you because they feel like you are lonely, you know, and they're gonna start
If
telling
they
you things.
only knew that we are not. I get a kick out of that. Well, you know how I'm pretty good at when I'm talking to these guys on my live.
Hmm.
I basically can get most of them, if not all of them, to finally admit, yeah, I'm a scammer, blah, blah, blah. I have
Yep.
this one guy, of course, Prince Faisal from Dubai, and this guy is not breaking. He is not breaking, and I haven't
The
posted any
one
of that
that
stuff
last
yet.
night.
Not last night. No, it was last week. I finally just sent him, well, the one night I got tired of all, because again, we were one night we're sweet talking, the next night of course, he wants me to send $25,000, for this apartment building so that we can have the orphans move in there.
Of
So, of
course.
course, you know me, I love getting bank account numbers
Okay,
because I
hold
report it
on.
to the bank.
How much you want? 25. You want it on
25,000. Yeah.
Venmo or
Yeah.
PayPal? Yeah, yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna send you
Oh, no, I
30.
want
Okay,
bank account numbers. For that amount, I want bank account numbers. So,
girl.
and as I always do, I have a form letter and I put the
Mm-hmm.
information in there and I send it to the
Mm-hmm.
bank. So anyway, so then the next night, I start calling him out, all kinds of crazy stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
we're going back and forth. Again, I have to get those videos out still. And then I, do the apology tour and blah blah blah, because he was I'm gonna break this guy. I am. He's going to admit it. I can't
If
get
you're
him to
gonna
admit it.
talk
I
to
played
him
that.
today,
I could try tonight, when I go live. So anyway, so finally the one night the conversation was just so boring. "I love
mm-hmm.
you," and so I wanted to get off the phone, so I faked that there was an earthquake. I go, "Earthquake! Oh my god!" And then I sent him a message and I'm like, "Oh my," I go, "I'm fine, I'm fine. Oh my god, it was an earthquake. I'm so scared," And then I think he sent me some BS about, Allah will take care of you and all that jazz. And then I
Oh,
think I
salami,
messaged him
salami,
back
bologna.
something baloney. Yeah. And then I think I messaged him back the next day. It's like, I'm sorry, but God came to me in a dream last night and told me that I shouldn't speak to you anymore. Yeah. So he read the comment or the voice.
Oh,
Yes, yes. He read it, and then I haven't heard back from him, but I also haven't blocked him. But I do have a gift sometimes where I can get these guys to finally admit it, but I can't
yes,
break
you
him.
do.
But then again, I'm not done.
But you have to. I see when you break them very quick, you start saying, you know what? I know that you are not the real person, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay. First of all,
I'm the
you
scammer therapist.
exactly. And I know that you're lying, you're trying to get some money. What you want money? Is something that your family needed. Start like a deep in their heart. It's a reverse psychology. You know what I mean? So what you're asking for money, you don't
Hmm.
have a job there. The government is really bad. Your mom is sick. Your family. So, and when you start telling them what they want to hear, I see that you totally get them very quick and they start admitting that they are
Yeah,
scammers.
yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, my favorite place to tell them to make money is why don't you sell your sperm? Go to the sperm bank in my terrible New York accent. And I just go to the sperm bank. It's a couple minutes in a cup. You turn the cup in and they give you $100. You could do this every day and make $700 a week. I just, me, I like to be outrageous and say stuff that, you know,
Mm-hmm. I
that
love
they sit there and
elbows,
like, oh,
you know,
okay.
I love
Yeah.
elbows. And I'm like, what the? I mean, instead
Oh,
to say
yeah.
something, it's like the elbow. The last thing you're thinking about that turn you on, the elbow. I lost it
Elbows.
that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I lost it
Oh, the
that
one
day.
comment, one of the gal goes, "Oh my god, that's not what I was expecting you to say. Hey, I'm on TikTok. I can't say penis, or dick." So I said, "Well, let's go for the elbows." And then everybody like does the elbow thing now. And it's crazy. Yes, it's crazy. It's
I love
crazy.
it. I
But
love
anyway,
it.
go there because this go to my website because I need to do a video about just all the titles. Like there first do your research, then do your approach. Hold on. There's lots on the
Hmm.
approach. Conversation. Um, whoops. Make it about her. Compliment
Yes.
her.
Yeah.
Bring things up. Take your time. Although
And
some of these
that's when
guys,
you
it's
do
five
the
minutes. Can you give me a gift
reverse.
card? Uh,
That's the reverse psychology that you start
yeah,
read this and you start
yeah,
attacking them with the same BS that they're gonna attack you in the
yeah,
beginning. You're so handsome.
yeah.
I've
But
been
they
falling
have
in love
all
with you.
kinds. All these are bold and will tell you the order to
Mm-hmm.
do it all. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Other guys are very good and smooth.
Yep.
And others will be like in 5 minutes, "Oh, my internet's bad. Can you get me an Apple gift card?"
Yeah, because the
Pay
Apple
your
gift
internet
card
bill
is
like
gonna
I
buy
do.
you the internet at like do you think the big and you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. I just got like every day I get these weird stories, and I'm reading it from victims, and I'm like, wait, can you read that again? What you wrote to me, can you read it? Because I think that you're writing just to write whatever, and you're not comprehending what you're writing. How can Apple Card buy your internet?
Yeah, or a
It's just
Steam card, which is
a
a
SIM
gaming
card.
site for video games.
You have to do your due diligent search. When somebody asking you for gift card, and this is why I get very upset sometime, and I'm wondering a lot and I have this conversation with you before. Oh, they don't ask me for money. Okay, they don't ask me for money. They ask me for gift card. Okay, how in the
Costs
hell you gonna
money.
buy? How in the hell you gonna get a gift card without money? That is my question. That they don't put two and two together. They're asking you for money. Don't make a difference if it's a transfer electronic or a gift card or cash or whatever. They're asking you for money, you know? And you
Mhm.
have to put the heart to in a little jar and put the lid and just keep it there, and let's be realistic, people, you know?
Think with your
This
we talked about this the other night of my life. Think with your brain and not your heart all the time.
Exactly. I know
Yeah.
that a lot of women feel lonely. They want the love bombing. They love to have somebody there. When she wake up in the morning, she have a text that say, "Hi, beautiful." Okay, some people love that. Okay, I'm the a weird one because somebody send me something like that. I'm gonna be like, "What the fuck you want?" You know, just flat out. You know,
Yes.
what you want, what you want, you know? And I'm like, okay, what you want? Well, you're the apple of my eyes. I cannot breathe without you. I said, well, get an oxygen tank. I have like a four here for my mom. I can send you one, you know, because how can people fall for this is beyond me. And I'm not trying to judge
Mhm.
because you know how I am, Patsy. I'm not
Oh,
that
I
kind of
know.
person that judge
Yeah.
you. But there are common sense that is not common anymore, you know, and people don't sit down and think, how the hell this person came to my DM and he start talking to me and I start feeling the oozy, my heart is beating, I have butterfly in my stomach. Take that to a side. The person don't know you. Okay, he is
Yeah.
fishing. He is fishing for the next victim. And do you think that you're the only one that he's talking to? Think about it again. Because they're talking at least, and tell me if I'm wrong, at least with 10 people at the same time. That's the reason why they want to move you from, for example, TikTok, and they want to move you to Signal, Sanji, what is the
Telegram, WhatsApp.
Telegram, WhatsApp, all this, you know, site that are encrypted, that once you find out that he's a scammer, he gonna block you. There is no more trap because it's encrypted and you out of 5 grand or more. I had the other day somebody that lost $250,000.
Oh, man.
You know, and
Yeah.
she want to know how to get the money back. And I tell her, I mean, it broke my heart, but I have to tell her, once you send that money to somebody, it's gone.
Yeah. And those hacker guys that say they can get your money back, they can't. They post on my videos all the time. So Jersey John, because I did one where a guy was doing that, and I did a video, and Jersey
Mm-hmm.
John, who we love,
Mm-hmm.
who will be a guest soon, um, he said he goes, put on your where you can put keywords in so that it doesn't come or it filters. And so among other ones, put in their hacker. And I see more of them going into the filtered comments and I just delete them. I have some that go in there anyway, but I got to think of another word because there's still a couple that are slipping through. I go through
You
and
know what
delete
I did?
those
You know what I
because
did
those
for
they're
that?
scammers. They're scammers.
You know what I did with that? The only people that are allowed to make any comment on my videos are the people that I follow.
Hmm.
I resolved that problem very quick. Now the
Yeah.
cyber hackers come to my DM and send me a message, say, "Are you a victim of romance scam?" I say, "Yeah, from your mother,
Your daddy.
your
When
daddy."
whenever I send those junk pictures,
Mm-hmm.
um, and for
Your
those that don't know
daddy,
what I'm talking about, I get pictures of men's junk
all the
from these
time.
guys a lot of time. Now, mind you, it's not theirs. I have some of the fake prints of Dubai, which is photoshopped. So when
Mm-hmm.
I get to a point in the conversation and these guys just piss me off, I send them that and they'll say, "Who's this?" And I'll say, "Your
Your
daddy."
daddy.
Even though and then I'll even send it to the Prince of Dubai, the fake prince, and he's "That's not me, it's Photoshop." I know, but I like sending it out. So
Everybody that hears
if God
this right
forbid
now,
God forbid anybody goes through my phone, they're gonna see pictures of junk and a lot of Chris Evans.
that's what I'm saying.
I
That's
don't
what
have
I'm gonna say.
I
You
don't
know,
Yeah, I don't have all of them on there because we have a Discord page set up just for that if you wanna check all of them. I only keep a certain, like, maybe 6 or 7 on my
oh my
phone,
God,
but like I said, God
when
forbid the police ever go through my phone.
she's a, they're gonna say, "Oh, woman, you need Jesus. You know, you need Jesus
Yeah,
because you
yeah,
have all these junk pictures here," and it's like,
yeah.
"Are you okay?" You
"Oh,
know, but when I
officer,
saw
it's a funny story."
on, tell you what happened. That's is the reason why I got them in my phone. But no, when you send me one, you posted on Discord, and I open it. I'm like, that cannot be true. That gonna put that person in a wheelchair for 6 months. You know, they say. I mean, the
There are
pictures
some
that she
doozies.
received every single day from this scammer is nasty and out of this world. I mean, I think it's an alien. You know, some of them. It's
And
like
if you
they have
watch
like a
my
three
lives
legs.
when I get a new picture, yeah, and you'll see the look on my face. I'll be like, "Oh, nice." And there'll be some it'll be like, "Ooh," and then I send it over to Discord and then we move on. So I'm like, "It's on Discord, go look at it. It'll
And
give you
we all,
nightmares,"
when we
Not
go,
that
it's like a
yeah,
how they
those
how
kind of pictures just don't do anything for me
yeah.
anymore,
No, I'm old.
just like
I
sweet
don't.
talk, I'm oblivious to it. Yeah,
No, meaning
yeah,
no, that
okay,
either.
yeah,
I just that my life concentrate to help people. Number one,
yeah,
and number two, to take care of my mom. You know, and my
yeah,
family, of course. You know, and work. But
yeah,
at the same time, I'm multitasking, and when I have the time, I go to places to spread awareness, like a nursing home or elderly community center, because they target a lot of people above 50, okay, to this romance scam because number one, or they're widow, or they are tired of their relationship, they don't have excitement, or number three, they're divorced, and
voluptuous like I am.
mhm.
So, okay, so we're gonna have to
Now,
wrap up
the people
soon because
that are this
we could
big
talk
like
for
me.
hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could talk for hours, but anyway, what we've got coming up is we're trying to set the date, it's kinda hard.
Hmm.
Chad Huber and Jersey John, who are 2 creators on TikTok that we have become
We
really
love
good
them.
friends with.
Yeah.
They're gonna come on, and we're gonna talk about a scammer coming after the 4 of us, and Raina and Gypsy too,
Yeah.
last summer, and it was
Hmm.
comical because I get this kind of stuff and I'm going to use it to my advantage. So, hopefully, and then, give them a chance to toot their horns because John and Chad do a podcast together as well.
Hmm.
And that's who we're trying to get. I know John, I think, has had a death in the family, I heard.
Yeah. His
But anyway,
cousin.
and I got their emails. I'm going to keep pounding them with emails. Um, they'll block me. No, but that's the episode I'm dying to do is the 4 of us just to talk about what happened last
Hmm.
year. And then another one was I had
We
Andrew
was the
on. What? I
we
sent
was
that
the most
email.
wanted.
Oh, yeah, by Walmart and the FBI. Yeah.
Mhm.
I did a
Mhm.
video about it. I had my
Mhm.
glasses on and a hat. I was on the lam. I could take that and just I can run with that for a long time. Somebody even said the other night it might have been Cat Lady. Doesn't that Walmart still looking for you? So anyway, but yeah, so then another guy, I had him on my podcast. I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before. Anonymous Andrew. He has a podcast. Well, he came onto mine about an online dating story, which was very scary. And then
Mhm.
I went on his podcast. And then last year he had me on his podcast again. And now he messaged me and said, "Hey, I want you back on my podcast, or I want to come on yours. I got some more dating stories." So I said, "Fantastic." Although he changed the name of his podcast now because it's more relating with dating and stuff. So I'm going to have him back.
Oh, good.
Another person messaged Sandy. Sandy kind of funnels my messages for me. Um, and she does this the kindness of her heart because I work all day, and Sandy is able to, field all these questions and pass them on to me if she doesn't know what to do. There was a girl who was scammed and wants to tell her story on my podcast. Now that
Oh,
one will not be put out on video because she doesn't want her face shown, and I completely respect that. As I tell
totally
anybody, I
understandable.
always ask, look, when we record, I'm going to have the video on so we can just see each other and have a conversation. But when I release it, it'll be strictly audio if you don't want your picture out there. Is it okay that I release the video? My hair's
Yeah.
looking good today.
I look like I mean, when I got up, I said, "Oh, fush, today is the podcast. Hold on a second.
I
Let me
wanted to
put my
sleep
hair
longer, and I'm
up."
like, "No, you
Me
gotta get up."
too. And I said, "Okay, coffee. You know, this is
Yeah,
my,
Diet
you know."
Coke. I got my Diet Coke here. Always have it here. So,
So that's why you
so
see me,
those are a couple things. Yeah. This is how I look. I could put
and
on
I
the
don't
wig back
care.
there, but
I don't
I've been
care.
wearing that a lot this week. Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay with myself, and I think that's what's more important. And I think when you're out, people will notice that you carry yourself very well. The Working Woman Survival Show, there was a lady next to me and she goes, "I just see the powerful um energy that you put out when you're talking to people. And it's so good." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." She was very nice.
Hmm.
But I mean, that's what I try to do. I try to, I have my days like we all do. I can't be,
Hmm.
wonderful and happy every day, but for the most part, 90 something percent of the time, I am good. So people piss me off sometimes, but that's not people here. It's flea market and church sometimes people piss me off, but anyway, but if you have anybody out there that wants to come on and talk and tell your story, we would love it.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. The
And I have
more
to
that we put it out there, the more people realize that this is a major issue that we live every single day. And you might not be the victim, might be your mom, your daughter, your sister, your auntie, your neighbor, coworker, that they are going through this. This might change their mind and think twice what they are doing.
yes. Yes. Well said. I have to say I totally enjoy having you as my co-host now because I don't feel so much pressure. I felt pressure, not that I show it all the time, but it's when it's me one on one, I get I c I okay, what do I say next? Oh my god. Where now I have a vet here and she's good with questions. She's the best. You would make a good
I'm like
prosecuting
this.
attorney.
That my dad told me that you missed your call. You should be a lawyer. And I'm like, so I have my
You're
backup
good at the
question.
questions.
And you know what? I'm doing this. Okay, she don't have a question. I have a question. Hold on.
Yeah, let me
So
read it.
you know what?
So anyway,
It's
oh,
easy
go ahead.
for me to listen somebody, and when you are like a thinking, I have the question. So let me don't have like a mute moment, so I can come back and ask, and then you have the time to think exactly what you, and that is how we work. And plus, we're besties.
Don't tell Cat Lady. Don't tell
Yeah.
Sandy.
Hmm. Don't
They're part
don't
of the
tell
Google
them
girls.
because
There's 8 of us.
yeah, we love them. And Sandy is
Yeah.
like, I love her, but Cat Lady, I know Cat Lady for a while, and she is my go-to laugh, and at the same time cry sometime, because I don't like it, and I told you that before, Patsy. I'm not the kind of person that I spread everything that is going with me, and I'd
Yeah.
rather be
Yeah.
the funny joke person all the time. But sometimes I need to cry or vent, and
We all
thank God for
do.
Cat
We all
Lady.
do.
Yeah, she is my
Yeah.
go-to.
And I try not to do it on my lives. I try not to
Mm-hmm.
do it on my lives.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Definitely. This has been
Yes.
awesome,
So,
Patsy. And this is the
this is
beginning of
good.
this
This is
year.
good.
So this is good,
Yeah.
and hopefully we get I
We'll
know
get
that Mama
more.
Jules. Mama Jules want to do one
Oh,
too.
yes. Yes, she's in, United Kingdom, and there's a
Mm-hmm.
6-hour difference, so, yes, I
Mm-hmm.
forgot about Mama Jules. It's called S She's Staying Safe with Jules on TikTok, and,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're her and Tracy G are doing more investigative work
Wonderful
into
people.
sextortion. Yeah, very nice. She's so sweet in her
Mm-hmm.
messages. She goes, "Hello,
Yes.
lovely. What are you doing?" You know,
Hello.
she's so sweet.
You want a cup of
Yeah.
coffee? Mhm. Tea? Hmm.
Yes, yes,
I love
and
her.
we were trying
Love
to
her.
do this. Yes, we were trying to do this in November, December. It was just too hard with holidays
Mm-hmm.
and me freaking out about the working woman show.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm like, "Ah, it's a piece of cake," you know? But anyway, but yeah, that's another person we're gonna have up. Maybe we can get her and Tracy G together. That would be
That would be
good.
nice.
So,
We need to
yeah, I'm
bring
gonna reach out
Kathy
and see
from
about.
Advocating for You too, if it's
I
possible.
was thinking since she made that trip to DC, I would love to bring her back again. I was thinking
With
about that after reading all the
mm-hmm.
stuff Beth was posting.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent idea. Kathy from Advocating, let me write that down.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna
Yeah.
reach out to her.
Yeah. I mean,
AR
it's a lot of
Beth.
people
There we go.
out there. Let's see if I can talk with Gypsy.
Use me.
To
Oh,
see
yeah. Now I had
she
him
wanna
on
come
my
here.
when I did the TikTok lives, like Wednesday
Mm-hmm.
guests. That would be a great idea. I would love to have him back.
Yeah, let me
He's so
reach to
nice and he's
him.
so darn cute. Don't tell him I said that. He's so cute.
Oh, he's we call each other brother and sister every time we every not every day, but you know, it get to the point that, hey bro, how you doing? And hey sis,
Yeah,
how you doing? How's mom doing? Because he
yeah.
introduced me, I'm his sister. We are not blood related, but I love
Oh,
that
yeah.
damn
We're all family on there, I feel
boy.
like it.
Like,
I have said this forever. I see my TikTok family more than I see the people here, with the exception of my daughter, she lives with me. But it's like I see you guys every night. Like last night at the fish fry, I wore my shirt. My Pink Lady shirt, and it was a girl that I used to live in my neighborhood, and she came, and
girl.
so when I was done doing my thing, I went and sat with them, and her one friend goes, "What is your shirt?" So I go on to explain all this, you
So
know,
I put
and
my key in
oh,
my
keep going.
purse, and this was out, right? And was like this, okay?
Yeah.
And people stopped me at the pharmacy. Can I ask a question? And I say, sure. Who is the pink lady against a scam? And I say, let me tell you something. And we was talking for 45 minutes, okay? And I was explaining
Mhm.
about the romance scam, who is pink lady, how we do that, we do
Yeah.
this on TikTok and everything. What is your name on TikTok? And so I give it, that person is follow not only me, follow you, follow advocating for you, all these people that are doing Jersey John Shot Hoover. And she sent me a message on my private message and said, you remember on San Diego. That's where I live. Uh, Somebody on the pharmacy CVS stopped you and said, "No, that's you," and she said, "Yeah, thank you." Because I'm learning so much. I got a scam, and she told me the story. She got a scam with gift cards because this guy that was in Syria was, hungry, and he's
Yeah.
fighting for our country. And I said, "Well, we don't have nobody in Syria, you know." And she felt like
Mm.
when she saw all the videos and everything and what we spread. Oh my God, I love Captain
Captain
America.
America shield. I bought these
Mm-hmm.
on Amazon last year. It's Captain America shield, Mjolnir, the hammer, and,
Mm-hmm.
Stormbreaker, the axe. Those are hanging on the
Mm-hmm.
wall. But,
Mm-hmm.
I had to get my Captain America shield, so
I
it
love
actually
them.
spinned, but then it broke, so I had to super glue it because I didn't wanna lose it, so you showed the pink lady one, I have a Captain America one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not obsessed at
So
all.
no, not all. No. Anyway, so
I can't show my
follow
picture, so
follow us on TikTok, Instagram. We now have a Skylight, Blue Sky. We are in Substack. We also fan base. Pretty much in all the social medias, spreading the awareness. Okay.
and if you go
Um.
to my TikTok, I got everything listed in one of my videos because we
Mm-hmm.
were, in case we lost TikTok, we're all figuring out where we're gonna go. I always do my lives. I stream on YouTube as well. I was
Yes.
doing Twitch, but I was doing it through Streamlabs, and I was running into a lot of buffering, and the girls and I don't get that many from Twitch anyway. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just strictly doing YouTube right now till I can figure that out. And I do TikTok and
I don't have YouTube. Someday I start doing YouTube because it's YouTube is more complicated
yeah.
than other site, but Substack,
I love Substack. I finally got enough followers where I can do a live on there. So I might pop on there one evening when I'm done with TikTok, or but
and
yeah, please follow
also
Yvette, IB
Neptune.
Princess 56. Yes, I am excited for that. I got to finally pick my name. I got an email the other day and I got my name, Pink Lady Against Scammers,
I can show
reserved.
you how it look. I don't want to. Well, I can show you here, very quick.
Ah, sure.
Ha-
Nobody else has got anything to do out there, do you? We're just going to sit here and keep chatting.
Yeah. So this is
Because you're
the.
a beta tester.
Yes, I am, and this is how it look, and it's still in the beta phase. It's very so
Yeah.
that is coming
If you're on
soon.
TikTok,
And
follow Neptune. They're on there. That's how I learned about it and Yvette.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm, yeah.
cool, cool.
So
So yeah, follow Yvette, IB Princess 56, me, Pink Lady Against Scammers. Go to my website, pinkladyaGainstScammers.com. Go to Amazon, buy my book, Kindle 9.99, paperback 13.99. It's 47 pages long. I think that's everything.
don't
I'll forget
worry,
something.
I'm not gonna get
But I
jelly,
just
and I'm going to start doing like a book or something because I don't have time to write a damn shit.
sure.
So I'll let
Then you
you
could come
do
on the
that.
podcast and talk about it.
There you go. You know.
So, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Now that we're back in the swing of podcasts for 2025, I'm only a little late. We'll be more regular. It was just a matter of timing because Yvette's 2 hours behind me. Her work schedule is a little different than mine, so we have to, and that's what we've got to figure out with Chad and John
Yeah.
is, all four of us getting at one time. So, Yvette, thank you so much for being my bestie on here. And well, yeah. And
It's
we'll
been
see you
my
next time.
pleasure
And remember,
always.
guys, yeah, and remember, they don't love you. They love your money.
So
And as
stay
Cowboy would
safe.
say, um, yeah,
Down and
you shouldn't have to
out,
pay for love.
something like that. You don't have to pay for love or something like that. And
Right.
don't give him money to.
No. If you don't know them, don't give them.
Yep.
Bye.
Well, see you later.